Hello and welcome to the UK Surf Show. We are your hosts. I'm Pete.
And I'm Mitch.
Without a delay?
Without a delay, yeah. We're doing a summary episode in person.
In person, yeah.
Shall I just leave an awkward gap?
Yeah, just do that, yeah. Yeah.
Okay, I'll do that.
It's nice to actually do it in person without having to delay of the internet of our
For sure.
normal. And we've come up to Scotland
Whoa.
quickly.
So obviously, we've been in the northeast,
Yeah.
recording the northeast edition of the show. Weather has been treacherous, can we say that, or howling wind.
I have lived for a whole week in a dry robe and my dry robe boots. That's pretty
So,
much it.
As most holiday makers do, we've come to Scotland to seek some sunshine,
Yeah.
which we've done, and I shall now demonstrate with what I'm wearing compared to this southerner.
Yeah, that's pretty much how it goes. You've been walking around in your pants all week, and I've been walking around in a dry robe, gloves, and hat and everything.
Dry robe wanker.
Yeah, literally. But yeah, it's been a great time as usual. These trips are normally pretty good.
Yeah, and actually, what I forgot about was, and for any listener or watching, you probably be like, I don't get how it is, but it's super tiring.
Yeah,
it is really tiring.
When we're asleep by 9 o'clock every night, it's like...
Well, I mean, we're asleep by 9 o'clock, assuming we don't have a 3-hour drive back from whatever it was you took us.
So
I'm just going to have some margarita.
Oh, yeah, and I'm going to have my tea.
Yeah.
But it is one of those things where it's like your geography skills, for someone who used to work in the army in like guidance systems or whatever it was you did, your geography is awful.
Well, that's not true, for one.
That is true.
That's absolutely
not
true.
So, right, let me go. Scotland, right, when we were in Scotland...
Scarborough is exactly where I said it would be.
Yeah, just not the exact amount of time.
Yeah, I'm not a time expert. It's where I said it would be.
Where things are, you just don't know how long it takes to get to places.
No, and I know what happened there is because where I was based in Thirsk, it's kind of halfway between Bamborough and or it's the same time to Bamborough as it is to Scarborough, hour and a half or thereabouts. So in my head I hear the connection Scarborough and Bamborough. So in my head it's an hour and a half. So I may have underestimated how far it actually was.
Yeah, so we're staying in Bamborough. And a 3-hour drive to Scarborough, 2 interviews, 3-hour drive back. So that was your first.
Yeah, but it meant you got to spend that extra hour and a half on top of the hour and a half that I thought it was with me. Lucky you. Lucky
me. So we did it in Scotland as well when we went to Fraserburgh. Oh, it's only up the road.
I'd never been there. It was only up the road anyway. It's 2.5 hours. It's local.
Also, so that's the first 2 mistakes. Let's talk about you letting me drive your van.
Wait, right, okay.
No.
Okay.
You letting me drive your van.
Don't say what it is. Because I am a fantastic... I am a fantastic drone pilot.
Yes, you are.
I can line up the most cinematic looking drone shots that ever happened.
So
the only thing I'm missing
through these rape fields, lovely yellow fields, Bamborough Castle in the background,
so
sky,
good,
blues,
it looked
waves
amazing.
going on.
And honestly, the angles were super nice. I was in and out of the vehicle, showed it. I let the vehicle come through shots. The only thing I missed was what?
Press and record.
Press and record.
And how much shit do you give me about press and record on things?
And it's so annoying because actually, so what I established in this, because literally I flew the drone 4 miles back with the van, following it down these tracks and getting amazing shots and stuff. I also established that Pete's a panicky driver, which, given the van you drive, I'm super surprised at, because most people would look at your van and be like, I'm going to stay clear. I'll stay back. I'll let him do what he's doing, and I'm safe. Safe arming area away from the van. Soon as a vehicle came up behind us, and no, I'm not saying we were going slow on these roads, but they're B roads, back roads, so you go slow anyway because they're just dodgy roads. As soon as any other vehicle was there, Pete got so paranoid, he would floor it, and then obviously the drone can only go so fast, like 30, 40 miles an hour or whatever it is. But if you break connection with the drone goes back to its home point, the point you took off from, 4 miles back. I'm like, Pete, we cannot lose connection. It's still speeding up though. Cheers. And so that was my faux pas. Pete does not use the clutch, seemingly, to change gears. Pete just clunks it in. It's almost like, that noise, I thought you'd seized the entire gearbox. Like, I'm not fussed about letting people drive the van. It's my baby. But, you drive a van. Like, what was that? Pete doesn't avoid potholes.
Yeah.
Happy to take corners at full pelt. So what I'm saying is, don't let him drive your van if it comes up.
My van's brilliant. My van is absolutely great. There's seamless gear changes on my van. Lovely.
Yeah,
Your van, I don't know what's wrong with it. I think it's the driver. It might be, I don't know.
There's something wrong with it now, I can tell you that. It's the clutch is slipping or something.
But
wasn't
yeah,
before.
so we've had to hop over the border into Scotland. You'll see why when the episodes come out and who we've spoken to. But where have we been? We've been Bamburgh, Scarborough.
With Scarborough,
Tynemouth,
which we're heading back to tomorrow, because we
Yes.
should say we're not actually finished yet.
Yeah, we're not actually finished
We're just
yet.
such a nice backdrop and these stunning summer waves behind us.
Yeah.
Definitely not howling on shore, and I'm definitely not freezing sitting here as well. That's the interesting thing.
That's good. I think you've just got that thing where you've built up a persona of like, I'm Scottish, I can wear my shorts even if it's freezing. You're like, nope, I'm wearing my shorts.
And I hide
Your
it
legs
well.
are blue, man.
I hide it well. It's a bit like how Special K until recently, for like the 7 years we've been together, thought I wasn't tickly, and I've just been able to hide it. Just been able to, through resistance training, been able to hold on long enough that they give up.
Yeah.
And she caught me off guard recently. The secret has been unfolded, which is devastating.
And we've had some good laughs of the noises people make when they go over the water.
Oh man! So our first surf spot, which obviously will remain unnamed, but round Bamburgh. It was a shore dump, but it was a proper race track. You could kind of make a bottom turn, but then you're just kicking out. And I don't often I hate shore dumps normally, but I quite like that because it helps my pop-up, because it's either pop-up or die in short. And, we paddled out, and I don't know if you'd had been on a wave or not, whatever, before, but I was in front of you maybe, 5 meters or that. But these waves were jacking up super late. And they were actually quite sizable, and I saw it coming, I saw it jacking up, and I knew I was just going to scratch over it, or I duck dived it, but before it got to me I knew that, and I knew how far behind you were, which wasn't far, but it was enough. It was the difference of that wave breaking and not, and I had that wee look behind, that smug look to see, and we made eye contact, and the noise, it was like a squeal, because you looked at me knowing there was something happening, and you looked at the wave, and we just laughed for a solid couple of minutes, and I took off on a wave, big Superman eject, and genuinely couldn't remember what we'd been laughing about.
Yes.
Oh no, it's been funny. I think it was a noise of whoa.
It was that noise of impending, I know I'm about to get smoked, but you have to laugh at it.
Same beach, and I don't know if it was that one or one of the ones afterwards. Paddling out, I think I'd caught one wave in. I'm paddling out, and I go to as you say, it was like jacking up all of a sudden, but it was like shore dumpy, but it was like it would come in, jack up, and then break really quickly. And it broke on me in such a way, it slammed me to the floor, and I involuntarily did the best dance move of all time, which is the worm on the seabed being held down. My whole body just went like into the worm, and I was just getting flung around. And I mean, it's been cold up here. I think it's the wind chill that's been cold up in the
I
northeast.
think we had a day of sun, but the wind was savage.
But once you're in the water, it's not that. I think it's been better in the water than it has been out of the water.
It has been, but to be fair, the water is still cold. It's still 7 degrees, maybe 7.5 now. I'm not sure, but it feels colder than it normally is at this time of year. I feel like normally I've already ditched my gloves. Even up here, and that is so far from the case.
Yeah, no, it's been cold.
But so last night we came up to Pease.
Yeah,
Pease
got
Bay.
to surf the Old Kent Road.
You got to surf the Old Kent Road. We had
I can see why it's named the Old Kent Road.
Well, it was last night. I mean, it does. This can be amazing at times, and it can, like anywhere, it can be good or it can be shit. We weren't going to get in last night. It was super tired, a lot of driving. We checked a few spots on the way up. And it was one of them, today, as in yesterday when we got here, today was a promise. The forecast was amazing.
Yeah.
So actually the idea was we were filming with who we were filming with, and we all of us go for a surf together. obviously we woke up this morning and the wind was howling.
Yeah.
So I'm so happy we got in last night, and it really highlights that point of if it's on, and even if it's okay, go, because you never know when the next one's coming.
Even if it's semi-on.
Even if it's semi-on, which it kind of was last night. But to be fair, there was some size, and I know all the guys and girls surfing yesterday, it was a tricky session. It was either one of them, you have a great one or a terrible one.
Yeah.
All the Groms were out when we turned up, which was great. There was tons of them, and there's a lot of great Grom surfers around here now, which is epic to see. See them getting. I saw like 5 of them take off on the same bomb, close out, and then get smoked. But they just laugh about it and get on with it. So that's really cool.
Yeah, and it's everyone in the northeast has been like really friendly as well. I think the more I'm like traveling around the country and we're going to these different places, you're seeing the same thing of surfers just being really friendly and welcoming, like into communities. I don't know why that changes so much sometimes when people are out in the lineup, and like I do know why it changes, because I know the fact that everybody wants a wave, and you don't like it when there's too many people on the wave and stuff like that. But in general, everyone's really chilled, nice vibes, relaxed, welcoming. We've had some good food. Yeah. We've had some shit food.
Yeah, there's that. Oh, the place in Tynemouth next to Tynemouth Surf Co. I actually can't remember its name, but I think it's called Surf something.
That burger place.
Oh my God, that was insane.
Banging,
that was so good.
Yeah.
So much so we ended up having went to a fish place. Got burgers obviously in a fish place in Scarborough. Really highly rated and recommended to us, and I was just sitting there thinking, I wish I was in that place in Tynemouth. Yeah, it was really good.
I mean, that place in Scarborough, I think that was the Lookout. It was good.
That was it. Yeah, it was good.
I mean, if you're like seafood lover, that some of the stuff that was coming out looked amazing. But I wasn't in the mood for seafood. I just had a burger.
Fish fingers is my limit for seafood.
Yeah.
I might do a chippy fishy, but chippy fishy. I shall have a little fishy on a little dishy when the boat comes in. The other thing though with that about the people that are super friendly and welcoming, maybe that's just because people recommend nice people to us when we're asking. There's obviously a lot of arseholes out there. Yeah. And if you're listening, hello to you. We're inclusive of everyone.
Yeah, I don't think we've had anyone message us yet going, you should speak to this person. All right, arsehole.
Imagine that's actually it'd be tricky, but that's quite a good way to maybe dispel. We could be like Mythbusters for surfing, be like, right, this guy's an absolute belter, or this girl's an absolute chod. Let's get them on, and it turns out they're really nice, or they're an absolute chod. Yeah. So win-win.
The thing I like as well is that thing that you never know how someone's going to act. Like once you turn the cameras and turn the mics on. Like the amount of times we've had people that are chatting loads and you've turned the mics on cameras and they've like frozen and it takes them a while to get into it, or the other way around where they've been like quite quiet and reserved before, and you turn the mic and camera on and they're just like that. Go!
Yeah,
it's
totally.
Just like someone's turned them on.
And that's what you want, isn't it?
Yeah.
It really. And there's been a few episodes where it's been, literally, I don't think we've had to say much. Yeah. Which I always think that's the thing, though. If we're talking a lot, maybe we're not doing our job as podcastarians.
Yeah. There's been some deep fakes.
There's been some deep fakes. They won't appear on the internet. They'll definitely appear on the podcast socials, but there's been some deep fakes.
That'll be coming out soon.
That was a really good episode.
I ended up with a dog on my lap in my face.
And I don't know.
My drive up was fun.
Peter a long drive, and then sadly somebody had to cancel when Pete was like 10 minutes away from the 7-hour drive. I had got out the surf early to go do the guest on the Sunday to drive down, and I'd only just left a few minutes and got the message, said really sorry, and obviously these things happen, but Pete was 10 minutes after a 7-hour drive and was like, sorry Pete, the guy's cancelled, so
another hour and a half.
You have to continue the other hour and a half to where we're staying in Bamborough. Soz.
Brilliant. Just what I wanted. But it was all right. It got there, and it was, we've been staying in our vans a week, apart from last night when we've stayed in luxury.
Absolute luxury, yeah. I love this lodge, and maybe we don't need to talk about that too much, but it's a super nice place to be, overlooking the beach, as you can see if you're watching this on video. We almost considered a few times getting in here right now, but it is howling.
As you can probably see if you're watching on the YouTube.
On the YouTube. There's 2 people paddled out. They're on foamies. I think they've just made it out the back through a gap in the set. They're taking off now, actually. Here we go. Bottom turn into a lip line floater. Oh, it's really hard when you do that, because the bottom turns when you generate the speed. This is why we don't do commentary. Yeah. And I don't know the names of the manoeuvres. So I'm like, he done a wheelie bin skip lifter. I don't know. That's why I couldn't do commentary. Yeah. But, so it's been great. Huge shout to Joe for letting us record in here with one of the guests. us and record our summary episode. He doesn't know we're recording the summary episode, but
he's let us.
But he's let us. Also, a massive shout to Dan, who runs Northern Boot Camp in Bamborough. That's where we're staying. It's a weird one, actually. I met Dan when I done my first ever lifeguard course with a company called H2O Training. Big shout out Steve Bowens and Portreath Lifesaving Club. Hope! So this guy Dan, who runs Northern Boot Camp, he was, for his instructors, they're like co-steering instructors, beach lifeguards, surf coaches, kayaks, all water sports basically. He had Steve come up and run a lifeguard course for everyone, and I was looking at the time to get my lifeguard course done. I just done my surf coaching course, and it was in Bamborough, so I was like, absolute prof, closest place for me to go at the time. Hour and a half. Wow. Yeah. So that's where I went, and it turned out Dan, he's also ex-army, same cat badge as me, or the cat badge I was for the last 10 years. And we just got on really well, and Bamborough became my go-to spot, because when I was driving home from Yorkshire to Scotland, like every weekend, I'd check all the spots along the way. Yeah. And Bamborough was one I'd obviously jump into, but I'd go in and see Dan. And it's nice to see how that boot camp's progressed, because it started off with this just amazing converted farm building, like big L-shaped farm building, into this luxury sort of accommodation. And it's a proper health retreat boot camp. You know, you do wilderness stuff, living in the wild and water sports. And it's just become this amazing thing. You've got these epic lodges outside. If anyone's ever heard of, and I think I spoke about Dan when I was on the show as a guest, he conducted a canoe or a kayak, I never know which one's which. He went round the entire UK, including all the inlets, and he was told it couldn't be done and whatever. It took him like 3 months. Super inspirational guy, does a lot of motivational speaking. And they've got all these things going on. So he's let us stay there, which has been amazing. We've stayed in their vans. He's got camps in and stuff, so even with camps in, he's let us stay. Yeah. Pete.
But you know, that on that side of it, he's got camps in and everything. And he's let us stay there in our vans, use the showers, use the toilets, use what you want, blah blah blah, and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, super nice guy. Can't say thank you enough.
No, huge shout to Dan. And then, like we say, we've got a couple of episodes to go shoot tomorrow, and then it'll be a long hella drive after that. But this has been
not for you.
Well, I've got a round trip. I'm picking up the Bambinos.
There you go.
Annoyingly, though, there's actually a longboard competition happening here. This episode, it'll have happened by the time this comes out, and I was actually wanting to compete in it, not for the sake of competing, because I can't obviously longboard for shit or surf for shit for that matter. But I wanted to compete.
Or direct or timekeep. Or let's go for the list of things you can't do.
Timekeeping's the one thing I do, and do not dare talk to me about timekeeping. Every day, Pete, we need to leave by 0700 on the button, which means we leave at 6:55. That's what that means. 7:30, Pete's getting into the shower.
That's right. We made it. What time did we have to be there? 11. What time did we get there?
Gave us fudge factor time.
What time did we get there?
Doesn't matter.
10:59.
Timings are critical, not flexible.
We got that. Don't worry about that.
Yeah, so there's a few episodes to go tomorrow, and yeah, obviously this will be long out. So yeah, I wanted to compete in this competition just to support the competition, really. Yeah. Conditions are howling. I do need a reset from doing all the filming this week, and to go back to that point, it might just be us talking shit to people and absolute waffling nonsense, waffle stomping. Love that expression. If you don't know what it is, go Google waffle stomping right now.
Don't.
But I take no responsibility for what your kids have just checked. So I can't remember what I was saying.
Oh, waffle stomping.
Go waffle stomping. But
longboard competition.
Just wanted to support it as a comp. But I think, it is tiring doing this. That's what I was saying. Yeah. We're just talking to people. But the thing is, you're always thinking, so you can't really switch off. And it's not a case of, right, I know what I'm going to say immediately after this person, but it's a case of you have to obviously be engaged with what they're saying to you so you can direct the conversation, so you never get a chance to switch off. Yeah. Which is why then after we've done 2 in a day, and fuck knows how we ever managed to do 3 in a day when we've done that in Yuki. But after an episode, we'll go to the next guest in the van, no chat. Because I'm talked out.
Yeah, that is it.
I think I've been more tired this time than you have, to be fair. Last time it was you. This time I've just been drained.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's pretty much a roundup of what we've done on this trip. And, we should say thank you to Srface, thank you to Dry Robe, thank you to Tynemouth Surf.
Cool.
Thank you to everyone that's been a guest. You'll see them coming up. And if you think, this is a really short episode of the UK Surf Show, that's because there's a roundup episode. And there's another episode coming out tomorrow, which is the guest we recorded with today.
Yeah.
So look out for that. That'll be out Monday morning at 9 a.m.
And I'm definitely not going to immediately run inside and warm up.
Yeah. So thanks. If you fancy anything from Srface, use the discount code UK Surf Show 24. That will get you 10% off from Srface wetsuits. And dry robe have been amazing. I've lived in it all week. If you want anything for dry robe, use the link on our website, and we get a little kickback from that. And
it helps us fund these trips because it's not cheap.
As we've worked out the cost of them on an average trip, we need at least at the minimum of about £1,000 for a trip. So they're not cheap, and but we get a lot of content, and we hope you get a lot of enjoyment out of it. So
and look forward to the announcement of our new affiliate coming soon. I don't know when this episode goes out. You do, but I look forward to that.
This is the next one out.
Well, we've
still got a couple of Wales ones.
We'll talk about that.
Get done. So
Happy days. You.